All right, welcome everyone. Um, so I'm waiting for Silver to the antidote to jump in. Guest, invite guest. I just invited him right now. Let's see if he can jump on and join us. But we were streaming my friend Ryan Lopez's page, so we're gonna keep the stream going a little bit longer, and hopefully we can get him on here. Okay, so let me send him a tweet on Twitter. Okay, we got one person. Hopefully we can get him on here right now. Oh, it's kind of late out here. I'm in Spain. All right, let's see. Hopefully we can get him on here. We just got done streaming on a different channel. See what happens. If not, we'll do this again. But now I know how to use this StreamYard. It's kind of cool. Good thing they created this. Makes it easier for us to go live and communicate with people. But let's see what else I could do with this thing. All right, we got two people in here. Should have Silver the Antidote coming on right now. He wants to keep the stream going. We're just on my friend Ryan's YouTube channel. So now we're gonna stay here and see what time, if we can get Silver the Antidote on the channel. Nice day out here today in Spain. Beautiful day. Went to see the sunset. Nice. Okay, let's see. We just got a message. Private chat. I'm here. Let me in. Okay. Guest. Add to stream. There you go. There you go.
Yo,
There you go. We made it happen.
Well done. Like that's a new thing for me. Like congratulations to you because I've not even tried it. So well done.
Lights, camera, action. So
and rolling. Right.
You're in the UK still, or?
No, no longer. For the last few years, I've been outside of the UK. I've been floating around the beautiful blue, be it the world, and where I am, it doesn't really matter. I kind of come and
Nice,
I
nice.
go. And yeah, like I make my way no matter where it is. It's the same shit. It's a different
Nice,
country. It's different every single place you go. So that's kind of how I like to do it.
nice. So, just to talk about UK, I lived in UK for. I was out there for a while, and I had a good time. I had a good time out there. I would go to Stratford Mall.
Hmm.
You know where Stratford Mall is? Or
I know Stratford. I've never been to
yeah, yeah.
Stratford Mall, but yeah, I know the rough
Or
location.
I would go hang out in Muswell Hill.
Uh huh.
I would take the train. The train system is like really good, real good. But
Well, it fucking works. Unlike the rest of
yeah,
the world.
yeah. Um, so yeah, so I've been in crypto since 2017, and I saw Pack. That was like one of the coins. It was called Pack Coin, and it went to like a penny, and we had bought it at like 0.00001, like some crazy number, and then it went to like a penny, like literally overnight. But after that, it just crashed, and I got out of it, and I was just looking for like that needle in the haystack. I was just like looking for the right token, the right coin to get into, and that's what happened.
Did you find it?
Oh, definitely found it. It took a while, but I found it.
So did you find many others before you found this one? Like
You
what?
know,
What's the story?
I, what I didn't understand. I knew that there was something at play. I knew that there was something that was bigger than I could understand. Um, but it was kind of like peeking through like a window or something like that, where I kind of had a glimpse of what the future would look like. And I remember buying I remember looking at the white paper in 2000 like 10 or 11, the Bitcoin white paper, and it was like, Satoshi Nakamoto white paper, and it was talking about how this is like a digital currency and that you can mine it and then you can make money. But I just dismissed the idea. I was just like, okay, well, okay, so that's I didn't think about percentages. I didn't think about buying into something and then riding the wave up and making 10 million or 5 million or 20 million. I didn't think like that. My mind was just thinking like I need to work hard to get ahead. And in 2010 I had went through a DUI, and I almost killed someone. He was in a coma, and he had like 4 kids. So everything that I was doing it wasn't working for me. So I had a degree in finance and investment management, and then I ended up going to jail. The judge sent me to boot camp because he found out that I graduated with a degree. So he's like, I'm not gonna put this guy in like regular prison. I'm gonna send this guy to boot camp. So he sends me to boot camp, a military program for like 4 months. And then after that is when I found like the Satoshi white paper or whatever. And then I just dismissed it. And then I started working for a law firm. We were doing loan modifications, basically helping people that are in foreclosure. So we're helping people that are like in foreclosure and have problems with their home. So I'm like, okay, I'm good at doing this paperwork. So I basically had like files, and in the file is like the client's name, social security number, bank statements, and I'm going through the files trying to figure out how to help them save the lower the interest rate and save money on their home. And I figured out what the the ratio should be, according to how much money they make and the debt that for them to go from a 5% to a 2%, they had to have like a 65% debt to income ratio, meaning that their debt has to be more than their income. which would be retarded for a bank to help you lower the payments on your home if you have a lot of debt. Why would they even help you? But that was the whole point, was when Obama gave the TARP money to the banks, he gave them the money, but the banks decided how they were going to underwrite the loans. So a lot of people don't think that the bank has guidelines. They think that the bank is just going to come and save them, when in reality, when they call the bank, the call's monitored and recorded. So, you know, the call's monitored, and they're like, okay, how much money do you make? Well, I make 30,000. Okay. And, you know, you have all this, you have all, you don't have a job, you know, you have food, gas, light, and you don't have a job. You know, and that was a recession that we went through in 2009. So I was working for JP Morgan Chase Bank when we were in a recession. Lehman Brothers collapsed. Washington Mutual got bought out by Chase Bank, bought out Washington Mutual. Bank of America bought out Countrywide. So this is going back like 11 years ago, like when Bitcoin came about, right? So going through all that, and then going through the military program and stuff, and almost dying, I opened up this company. This was like 2012, 2011, 2012. I opened up this company. I didn't even have a name for it, but I was working with some lawyers, helping people with loan modifications. So then I decided to name my company. I actually have a YouTube channel. It's called The Loan Modification Clinic. So I started the Loan Modification Clinic, and then I started helping people in Chicago. And I was on the radio every single day. But then after making a couple million, I was looking back at all the stuff that I went through. And then I thought about Bitcoin, right? This was like 2017, right? After like 4 years working the modification business, even though I did good, you know, I helped a lot of people save their homes. I helped lower the principal on their homes. People were like, man, you know, you saved my house. Like you know, I didn't have a job. Now you lowered my payments. You know, I'm talking about people's mortgage payments dropping by $700, by $1,200 a month, when they're used to paying $4,000 every single month. Now they're paying only, you know, $1,000, $1,500. So I'm saving a lot of people's homes, saving them time and money and all that stuff. And then I look at the Bitcoin and I'm like, man, like, where is the money? Where is the money? Because Obama left office and then Donald Trump came in. And since Donald Trump has been in office, crypto has been kind of just there. It hasn't really popped, right? So 2018, I got into Bitcoin in the December, like around the end of December 2017. I started the Crypto Lifestyle Club, and I did one video on PacCoin when it's called Pac Global now, but I did the first video was called PacCoin Moonshot. That video got 52,000 views. That video, just that one video, got me 1,500 subscribers on my channel, so I can go live now at any time. Now I never been in crypto. I just started the Crypto Lifestyle Club as a way to show people how much money is involved in cryptocurrency. Recently, I started a school, Crypto Life School, but it's actually Crypto Lifestyle Club. But I started a school online. I bought the domain Crypto Life School.
All right, wait. Let me cut in quickly.
Yeah.
What do I need to link? Like we got lifestyle, we got life school. Like what?
Yeah. No. It's just
tell me.
CryptoLifeSchool.com, and the school is gonna be on there. And
where's the stream? Where's the stream right now? Where's this playing through on your channel?
Right now I'm at Crypto Lifestyle Club.
Okay.
So that's where the stream is at right now. Crypto Lifestyle Club.
I just need to catch up. Sorry.
Yeah. So when I was looking at Bitcoin, I'm like, man, I think I could have bought Bitcoin at 35 cents. And I was like I was thinking like, shit, can you imagine how much money I would have made instead of like working this loan modification business, dealing with problems and people losing their homes. I had a lady that had cancer. I had to help her with her house. But to me, it was like, okay, well, when I saw Packcoin, Bitcoin in 2017, I thought that it was just going to keep going up. I didn't pull my money out like an idiot. I just kept buying more Packcoin and more Electra. I didn't know about Hex. I didn't know about decentralized finance because that infrastructure was probably getting built during these last 2 years. People were probably building out these projects, but I knew that the banks were going to have a very difficult time because I felt like we're transitioning. You know what I mean? Like I felt like we're actually going into something new where it's going to be a game changer where there's no longer going to be fiat currency. There's no longer going to be physical cash where you can hide your money under the mattress, which is actually something that I found out that the way that cryptocurrency works is it's totally transparent. So in a time of a crisis, you can't hide your money.
Depending on which currency that you're in.
Correct. If you're in Monero or something else or whatever, and you can hide, right? But the whole purpose of mattress money is that it's not circulating, so it doesn't compound, if you know what I'm saying. Like when I took financing like 101, the whole thing of a fractional reserve banking is that the money is a multiplier because it's being changed. It's like you said, money is a multiplier. Money is like energy because the more people that participate, the more it moves around, the more the more value it is, right? So now what mattress money is no longer going to exist because cash is going to be gone, and you're going to see people basically have cryptocurrency. The question for me is like, okay, how is this new world going to look? How is 2025 going to look? And I know it's not going to look anything like it is right now. I know that we're going decentralized. Everyone has to have control of their money. No longer the banks are going to be able to say, hey, government, bail us out like they did in 2009. And what happened to the middle class? So I'm from the US, and I literally see the middle class getting obliterated because you have the 1%ers that are getting bailouts. And most of those laws are to protect them. They're not you're better off starting a company and having a company so you can get away with tax. You might be able to get tax benefits and maybe even get money from the government just because you have a business. Like I know people in the UK that got 20,000-30,000 pounds just for having a restaurant, and everyone's getting money. As long as you have a business, everyone's getting money. I have friends. His girlfriend has a business and he's got a business. They both got 20,000 pounds each twice. I think it's 20 or 30,000 pounds twice. And one of the girls bought Hex with the 20,000 pounds. She's like, so she's like, I want you to help me set up my wallet because I want to get rich. And I said, okay, well, if you want to get rich, you're in the right place. So she put in 30,000 pounds in Hex before the big payday. And she did a 10-year stake, a 15-year stake, a 7-year stake. So she staked it out all over the place. And Ruda did the same thing. She staked it out all over the place. But the thing is that I feel like Jamie Dimon, the CEO of Chase Bank, I feel like people like, the people that control Bank of America, Warren Buffett, Wells Fargo, this system is basically toast. I think that this virus is just more of a reason why we're going to end up going in cryptocurrency, and the powers that be are going to shift us into cryptocurrency right away, where everyone needs to take charge of their own finances. So that's the reason I started the school. The reason I started the school is because people don't know what MetaMask is. People don't know, because you might be in the UK, I'm in Spain. I ordered a Monolith card. So I'll show you guys what the Monolith card looks like. It's connected directly to Ethereum. You basically top it up, and you could put Ethereum on here, and you can spend up to 7,000 pounds or 7,000 euros a day. And this is what the Monolith card looks like. Basically, a Visa says Monolith, and you know, you can use it to buy stuff. You know, it has a chip, and this is where we're going. And eventually, cash is going to be gone. That's my opinion.
I'll jump in. So I was pretty hot. I was pretty keen on these cards because it makes people who are traveling, people who are transitioning in certain areas, it makes it a lot more convenient for us to use it. However, do you know what it's like to store funds on those cards and then for those cards to be discontinued?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever experienced that, for example?
Yes,
suddenly
the
broker of that bank decides that, no, we don't want to support that anymore.
Yeah.
Change of terms and conditions.
Yeah.
It is super, super, super fucking inconvenient.
Right.
Plus, you've got a bunch of fucking money locked into that system, and you need to then sort out how to move it from A to B. So right. is that useful? Yeah, please.
I don't send like a lot of Ethereum. I just send, like, let's just say I'll send like $700 worth of Ethereum, or $1,000 worth of Ethereum, or 1,000 euros. But I got an email from another card. This was like last year, and they're like, hey, you can't use the card anymore. We're going out of business. Like, you have, you know, 2 months to. But this card, this Monolith project, is a decentralized finance project. The only thing that makes
who underwrites it? Who underwrites it?
I think it's a guy named.
No. His name is it Visa, MasterCard, what?
It's Visa. Now there is a bank on the card. There's a bank. So if that bank decides not to do business with this project, then that's it. You know. But for now, from what I've been hearing, is you can't get your money taken from this project.
No, you can't get it.
It's decentralized.
You'll get it credited back to you. But the point is, like, you're reliant on this Visa swipe.
And the reason that I say that is, you know how much it costs to swap. When you swap Ethereum, when you swap Hex into Ethereum, and then you send Ethereum to Coinbase, and then you have to sell your Ethereum on Coinbase to put it into your bank, right? Once you put it into your bank, I have another bank in Europe where I have to send my dollars to Europe so I could buy stuff. So I'm paying fees all over the place. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is, you're in England, or let's say you're in Germany. If someone in the US sends you $1,000 worth of Ethereum, whatever it is converted to in Germany, that's what you're going to get. You're not going to pay all these other fees.
But you can't always spend it crypto. That's the problem with these cards. I've had 4 of these cards. All of them I don't have no more. Why? Mm-hmm. Because they've been discontinued. Because they're unreliant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have built my travel plans based upon, one day I'm allowed to use this thing and it facilitates me to do something. Mm-hmm. The next day I can't use it because it's not allowed. Mm-hmm. Right? And I've had thousands of dollars basically redundant on this damn mm-hmm. thing that I then have to make a submitted claim to their systems to get a payment back to my initial, bank. Mm-hmm. Okay, no lie. I've had 4 different bank cards. I've had based upon where you are locality, I've had a BitPay card in the UK. BitPay discontinued. I've had who was the other one? Something Wise. Shit, I forget at the moment. But something Wise card, which is underwritten by Wise Crest or something Crest. That was discontinued. I had another one discontinued. I had another one discontinued. And to be of a nomadic type lifestyle that I am, I have had problem after problem, because the only way they issue these cards is they send it to people in the EU, which would be the UK, which is my home country. I would have the card sent to there. I would then have someone from the UK send the card out from the UK out to me wherever I am, to only find out that 3, 4, 5 months down the line it's discontinued, because there's been some complication inside of their agreement with quote Visa or quote MasterCard, and those are the underlying aspects to
it'd be nice.
Card.
Open up a construction company or buy a lot and then just sell property and take Ethereum for the property instead of taking euros or pounds.
So under my personal situation, I'm not allowed to technically own property inside of my own country due to tax reasons. So it all comes down to the laws of which each people live by. So my personal thing is I'm not allowed to own property in the UK. I'm a British citizen, but due to the way that I live my life, trying to be tax exempt, because I think tax is theft. I don't believe that I should pay tax to a government that doesn't actually do anything beneficial for the people. That's my own personal stance. Believe it or not, I'm not doing anything illegal in how I live my life. Okay. But if I am to live my life freely, I should be able to use my currency, my fiat currency, however I wish to. And when I start to use those currencies inside of those cards, they block me. They block me. They deny me. They create problems. I've had problem after problem after problem of me trying to use those cards into the future, not only because I'm outside of that jurisdiction, outside of the EU, European Union, but because they decide that we do not want to facilitate people to use this Visa element inside of this card. It's as simple as that. So one day they allow it, the next day they don't, all because of backhanders. So the people that have friends with people inside of Visa, inside of MasterCard, ultimately they don't, because higher people above them shut that shit down. Shut it down. You're shut down. So how do these cards actually help people like us today? Ultimately, they don't, because believe me, I've been through this multiple times. Not one, not two, not three, not 4 times. I've been through this many times. I've been in this 2015, 16, 17, 18. I've been living, traveling, and these people don't help you. So what helps me? The only way I can actually physically survive, and I no disrespect, like when I speak to Christopher in Dash, he knows people inside of Dash who actually they live 100% of their life unbanked, zero bankage linkage, and they will deal with going through life dealing with just Dash, for example. They live their life only by Dash. If I can off ramp, they will off ramp through Dash. I would like to be able to do something like that through Hex. Whether I can, well, that's dependent on how many off ramps we have applicable to us. Luckily, we have Ethereum. So Ethereum is a huge advantage, okay, that we have as a utilized tool to get out of Hex into something which we can utilize into the real world. Fiat. We need to convert. You always need to pay your electricity. You always need to pay your gas. You always need to pay your rent. You always need to pay your food. Those people generally do not accept Ethereum. Okay. So how do we, in today's world, how do we transition from effectively Ethereum into those type of outlets where we can self-sustain our existence?
Yeah. And that's exactly what Black Square said. he said that problems will continue until the crypto USD Fed coin arrives. And that's what I was going to actually ask you was how do you see this playing out with what is it, the CBDC, crypto backed digital currency, and how is that going to change the fiat system? Because if everything goes if everything goes where the governments try to take control of the technology, which they're not going to, right? Because it's disruptive technology. My prediction is that they're going to try to use something to try to take control of it, but eventually people are going to bypass Visa and bypass sanctions or whatever to buy whatever to buy
Totally
whatever
agree.
they want.
Yeah. Please keep an eye on chat. If anything comes up, make sure you post it. Show me, because I can't see anything, because I'm just inside of StreamYard, so I can't see anything. So just keep that in mind. I have no qualms that the financial system are so disconnected from what is the financial system that they are supposed to be in control of. I completely believe that they are categorically going to fuck it up. And I think they have no grasp of reality. And I think we are in the technological revolution that we are going to be showing them that this is what is actually going to take place. And they are going to be playing catch up to us. It's the people that hold the power. The ones that are printing, the ones that are doing whatever they're doing, it's only a matter of time before the hyperinflation affects people so much that they're like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, we're being diluted so badly. And then only then it would be the people who step up and they go, hey, you know why this is happening? You know why you saved $1 yesterday, it's only worth 50 fucking cents today. You know why that's happening? They'd be like, no, why? Well, it's because they're fucking printing 10,000 more within the space of 24 hours. They'd be like, how's that possible? Well, because they control it.
Yeah, Black Square said Richard Hart touches the subject in his last stream, bullish on Hex and crypto.
Yeah, I mean, you can be as bullish as you like. I mean, it's fundamentals.
Yeah.
You know? At the end of the day, we're not going to be printing any more Hex. The
Look,
Hex is done.
I remember going to the radio station in Indiana. Indiana, what's it called? It's like 40 minutes away from Chicago. Gary, Indiana, close to Gary, Indiana. And I used to go to the radio station every day, and I used to talk about how many trillions of dollars are in the U.S. debt clock. So if you go to the usdebtclock.org, at that time there was like 22 trillion. Right now there's $27 trillion on that clock. Every American is in debt. I think it's 35,000 or 55,000 per person in the U.S. So they're in a deficit. Interest rates, I don't know if you've been keeping track, but since I was in the mortgage industry, interest rates were at the lowest, were at 2%. Now, when I was doing loan modifications, we were giving people principal reduction because a lot of people lost their homes. So if you didn't lose your home, you try to refinance or sell your home, and they're like, hey, you're underwater. You actually have to pay the closing at the title company. You're going to have to pay to sell your home. So there was a program called the Home Affordable Modification Program, where you can lower the principal according to market value. So kind of like an adjustment. That's why Obama gave them all that money. But the banks kind of like made it hard for people to get these principal reductions. That's why I made so much money in that business, because the ratios had to be out of whack. Like if you have a job and you could afford to pay the house, they're not going to give you a principal reduction. Even though the house is upside down and you could still pay the mortgage. It's not fair that the guy across the street went into foreclosure and now you're 50,000 in the hole, you know? So that's where like the economy needs to grow. You know, you could have refinanced your house and bought a car. This is what you're talking about. You're talking about inflation. You're talking about money printing. This is what money printing is doing to the average American. The average American in the US, he can't refinance his house. And if he does, the loan to value is not going to justify why even refinance, because just on a refinance loan, you're going to pay $7,000, right? So you can't take the money out of your heart.
What's the interest? The actual what you call it in America? I think it's called the FDIC. Is it the FDIC in America?
Well, FDIC protects you. It's FDIC insurance protects you up to 200.
Describe that one quickly, right?
Well, see, what happened was in 2009 when you had people that had over $1 million in the bank. I was working at that time at the Bank of Montreal, which was the first bank of Canada. And there was people that had $1 million in the bank, but the FDIC insurance was only $100,000. So if you had $1 million, the U.S. government would just give you 100,000. The other 900,000.
In what scenario? Wait, describe the scenario. Why would they only give you 100,000? Like open up.
Because when banks do lending, all they have to do is keep 10% in the bank, right? So this is what I learned in finance in school. At the end of the night, they can lend money from each other. So Bank of America can lend JP Morgan $500 million just to make sure they have that 10% reserves. If you ever seen a movie, It's a Wonderful Life, it's a Christmas movie. And I think the guy, his name was George. Basically, he lost the money that was supposed to go to the bank. Now, in that time, which was like 1913, the banks closed. They didn't have the money to give to people. So people used to go in there and they'd say, hey, I want my money. Here's some gold. And they would say, oh, well, here's your money. Well, guess what? They didn't have the money because the money was taken by Wall Street and all these other big whales, right? Because it's all manipulation. It's been manipulation from the get-go because it's kind of like a Ponzi scheme in a way, because one person is lending to another and one person is lending to another, so they can never track the money because it's always going somewhere else. So what I'm trying to tell you is that in 2009, there was a lot of companies that went bust, like Bear Stearns, Lehman Brothers. And when they went bust, these big corporations, these big banks like Countrywide ended up getting bought out by Bank of America. And then when Bank of America needed money, they got the money from the government because they own the printing press. See, the printing press is printing money from nothing. So it's really nothing that gives you something. And the government knows that. The government knows that, and they say that the Federal Reserve is its own entity within the government, and no one could go through their books, no one could authorize anything they're doing. So we don't really know who's in charge of the Federal Reserve, or let's say in your case, the pound. We don't really know who's in charge of these currencies. But what we do know is that the average person has a harder chance to make millions of dollars than someone that works as a CEO of Chase Bank, like Jamie Dimon, which is now a billionaire. But back in 2009, he wasn't a billionaire. So how does someone that gets money from the government end up becoming a billionaire within 10 years? Why? Because they made it hard for the average American to lower the principal on their homes, because they manipulated the debt to income ratios and screwed people out of their mortgages. And then guess what? They have attorneys to kick you out of your house. So now if you're working like as a police officer or something else and you end up losing your job, which a police officer's job should never be lost in the first place, but now with this whole cops killing average people.
You're making me pull my fucking hair out. I get so angry at this shit. Seriously.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna fucking wind it back to FDIC. Yeah. I give you carte blanche to get it go. So FDIC, is an insurance policy based upon everybody that puts their savings into a bank account. They believe they are depositing funds. They are not depositors. They are creditors to the bank. Simple. You are a creditor. No, let me speak. So you credit the bank to facilitate those funds in any way they see fit.
Correct.
You no longer have the ability to have any jurisdiction, any say in anything that happens to those funds. You are a creditor. You have a creditory note that we owe you $1 for $1 for what you put into this bank. However, they fractionally reserve that shit out to oblivion. Fractionally reserve means they print that motherfucker 10x, 10x, 10x upon the 10x.
Yeah.
All right. If you don't understand 10x, go look it up. I'm not going to explain it to you.
Well, now, isn't it kind of like?
Let me tell you. I'm going to continue. Let me continue. Yeah. I'll keep this simply short for any of the audience out there. So, FDIC means there is $1 in insurance for the dollar that you put into deposit. The reality, based upon the fractional reserve lending that the bank has done, is really there is only 1 cent for the dollar that you have put into that bank. Therefore, when you wish to withdraw your funds, there is a magnitude of about 100x on top of your initial deposit that you are competing with to withdraw your funds, based upon how that bank has treated your deposit in the initial place. They have lended it and lended it and lended it and lended it. Every time they lend it, they can lend it more and more and more. It's basically like that. It's a complete fucking Ponzi. So when everybody looks at crypto and goes, crypto is a complete Ponzi, it's like, no, the traditional fucking system is a fucking Ponzi. Yeah. Because if the entire system collapses, which one day it could happen very fucking simply by 0.01% of people withdrawing their funds, 0.01% of people withdrawing their funds, the banking system would collapse because of the fractional reserve lending. If you don't understand that, you don't understand how finite the traditional system is. Yet people want to look at crypto as being, oh, it's a Ponzi, because of people like Jamie Dimon, quoted by yourself, Crypto, Jamie Dimon being the person who has instituted that. First of all, he said crypto is a fucking Ponzi. Don't invest in that. You're going to lose your fucking ass. Put your money inside of fucking, all the hedge funds, all this bollocks, right?
Guys like that have lost their sense of.
They haven't. No. They have incentive to protect their fucking business model.
Yeah,
they haven't lost anything.
But they're so on the opposite side of this that they would never comprehend. Like, it's like they're so attached to reality.
They won't publicly state it. No. They won't publicly state it. That's the difference. They have their business model to defend. Respect that. That's the difference. And they have to defend it.
The whole thing is all set up. Think about this. Real estate agents are full commission. If you don't sell any real estate, you don't make any money. Appraisals, full commission. If you don't appraise any houses, you're not making any money. Loan officers were.
Do you think Jamie Dimon gives a fuck about you?
Jamie Dyson does not give a fuck.
Right. So what the fuck are you talking about this shit? You don't give a fuck about the real estate. You don't give a fuck about your commissions. Fuck you is what Jamie Dimon says to you.
So the FDIC insurance only works if people go into the bank little bit at a time. If they can control the traffic of hey, let's not get worried. That's why when the coronavirus kicked out, this whole thing with this virus, the FDIC insurance started doing commercials on TV, and the lady, the president of the FDIC insurance, she came out, she's like, "Hi everyone, I just want to let you know that your money is in a safe place. FDIC insurance insures you just in case anything goes wrong, but no need to fear. our government and FDIC insurance is working safe, right? So that's how you know, okay, this could implode. Like you're saying, this shit's gonna implode, right? And when this shit implodes, like, oh my God, if you're thinking Bitcoin could go to, let's say, 100 grand, you never know. Bitcoin could just go to 1 million. Like, you just
Let's
never
rewind.
know. I wouldn't doubt.
Rewind. So you're listening to these people who are spilling their guts on mainstream media, saying, "Hey, trust this shit because we say it's worth it." Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you're like, okay, yeah, cool. Thanks for that, lady. Yeah, now I feel much better now. Like leaving two billion inside of my bank account. Yeah, I'm cool with that. But realistically, like they're only insuring you for what, 100K?
No, they went up to 200. I don't know if it's 200 or 250. But here's the thing. They don't give you the money right away. It works. You know, you get the money. I'm not sure how long you get it, but you're going to get the money eventually. But just the fact that you can't get the money that you work for, right? And guess
Let
what?
me break it down. I'll break it down to the UK standard, right? In the UK standard, generally this shit rolls across the world. So I made a video 3 years ago. I could upload a private video. I could show you right now, subject to upload times. So I made a video, and there was the equivalent of an FDIC in the UK, like fuck it, whatever they call it, I don't care. They insured the UK bank accounts for £70,000. So my dad had a message come through to him. Hey, Mr. So-and-so, we just wanted to update you that we're not going to insure you for £70,000 anymore. We're going to only insure you for 65. He's like, yo, what the fuck? I'm going to lose like 5,000 protection. That's unacceptable. I'm like, okay, Dad, like this is what's actually really taking place. They're not going to protect you for anything. Read the small print. He's like, what do you mean read the small print? No, they're going to protect me. I'm insured. No matter what the fuck happens, I'm insured. Like, Dad, you ain't insured for shit, bro. You're fucking going to be taken down to cleaners like the rest of the motherfuckers out there. Why? How is that going to happen? Okay, well, let me tell you. I spent like a day reading it, and I'm like, okay, Dad, this is how it fucking works. I read the small print. They're like, okay, in the event of a bank collapse, what? There ain't no bank collapse. This, you know, they're stress tested. They're this. Oh, and I've got FDI insurance. Like, yeah, I'm cool. No matter what happens, even if the bank collapses, I'm still insured because the government are going to back it up. Really? Okay, let me tell you what happens when a bank fucking collapses and when the government pay you back. Read the fucking small print, motherfucker. No disrespect that.
This is all in the cards, man.
Right. What happens? Let me tell you. In the fucking small print, these motherfuckers tell you, we will, and don't believe me, fucking read it. We will pay you £30 a day for the duration that we owe you your fucking money back until such point that the Bank of England decides to pay you out in its full term, which is not guaranteed because at the end of the day, we only actually really cover 1% of your initial position.
Wow.
So if you have £100,000 inside of your bank account, we guarantee that we will give you £1,000 back, but we will pay you £30 at periodic points, subject to your governmental allowance per day. Because if you take it back on another scale, back to Greece is a testing zone where they did the bail-ins, the first ever country to have bail-ins, where everybody in Greece faced 50% fucking haircuts. They gave all those motherfuckers a 50% haircut overnight. You got 100,000 euros in that bank account, wake up tomorrow with 50,000 euros. Oh, by the way, you're only allowed to take out 200 euros a day. Limited in your fucking account. Go to the fucking bank, try and withdraw more. Guess what? The fucking shutters. Guess what? The shutters are fucking closed on that bank. Military protected. You can't even get into that fucking branch. And you only allowed a fucking 20 euros a day.
So what they're doing, these people
I hope that
at the
helps
top,
people understand.
they're trying to figure out they're trying to figure out when what because the bubble's gonna pop, right? And it is like Robert Kiyosaki said, this thing is like an all debt. It's like an all debt bubble. It's like it's called the everything bubble. And Robert Kiyosaki was not even in Ethereum, but now he's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm in Ethereum.
I know Robert Kiyosaki. I respect him. He's a very, very smart guy. Yeah.
He's a little late to the party though, because he was all about gold with Peter.
Yeah,
Peter Schiff.
he's all in gold. He's all in gold. Yeah. He's got protection. He's got hedge.
But
he's good.
But the percentages are not. They're not going to end up going to gold. They're going to end up in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Hex. It's my opinion. You're right, but you know, we see it. We see it in the writing. You know.
I look at it two ways, right? Because most of the banks are buying up gold, physical, tangible, you know, gold. Kiyosaki, he's buying up gold and he is deleveraging from property. He's selling.
Yeah.
He sold out during the bubbles. He was selling. He's not. You know, these type of characters. They're old school. You know, a bit like Buffett. They're old school type players. They're not tech savvy in type of where we are right now. But that don't matter. They're still going to be wealthy. They're still protected. They're still insulated from what's going on because of you can still hold serious, you know, fucking tons of gold and you're still fucking safe. All right. You can still have a huge amount of asset value with passive incomes from real estate. You know, they're good. He's insulated. All right. He's not going to make as much as being crypto savvy going into the next phase. It's still cool. You know, he's made fucking tons. But what a lot of these people, the old schoolers, they don't they don't grasp is this technological type effect that is taking place with crypto. But they're starting to sway. They're starting to get it. They're starting to grasp it. But if you think these people aren't like positioned through hedge funds, you know, you're kind of you're confused because of course they are. They've got positions. They all put money inside of hedge funds, and these hedge funds will put money inside of crypto. That's just how it works, right? These guys ain't going nowhere. These guys are the old school guys, right? Don't think anything.
You think we'll get to a $20 trillion market cap?
What is it now? Like it almost hit $1 trillion already, didn't it? Like last cycle, 2017, right?
Yeah. Last cycle, yeah. So right now we're I think it's 370 billion.
So 20x. So 20x from the all-time high. That's what you're talking. Like, of course. Like, why not? Fucking of course. Seriously.
Man, everyone's gonna come in, man. I just get this feeling like you're gonna have like 12-year-olds coming in.
But they weren't the last. They weren't the last. You know, all these kids. No, look at it this way, right? All these kids, they're playing fucking games on their mobile phones right now, and they're already using digital currencies inside of their mobiles.
Yeah, they're getting coins or tokens.
Again, exactly. Know? What's the difference between that and this? There ain't no difference.
Yeah,
it's the same. So the transition is not all that difficult from 2020 to 2030. What's the transitional difference? It's nothing. So are the old boomers. The old boomers are the ones who have the issue transitioning. The youngsters don't. And guess what? When the boomers die, who gets their wealth?
The younger.
Right, and what are they? And they're already educated. So what happens with that?
Yeah, within 20 years, that's it. The world's going to be full crypto.
That's it.
Full decentralized. You take care of your own money. You figure it out. You know.
That's how beautiful. That's called transition of wealth. That's all it is. It's moving it from the old to the new. That's. You know, it takes a generation to move it from one to the new. So that's what we're facing. It's a transition. So I'm excited. I'm super, super excited. And I think I think we're at a fantastic time. The problem is most people don't know it's happening. You know, they're I don't know, they're they're downloading the latest games on the Apple Store and iOS and whatever it is. But
Yeah,
slowly but surely, they're transitioning through without them even knowing it. It's subliminal.
yeah,
The
yeah,
power of what it is. And as soon as the government says to them, all right, guys, the US dollar is not really working no more. We've come up with this great idea. It's called the USD Diamond, after Jamie Dimon, motherfucker. So we're gonna move it into this new system, and then everyone's gonna use the USDD.
hmm
It's a digital format. It's better. It's better than the old. And then 50% of the people will be like, yeah, it's cool. It's nice. I don't even have to use a credit card. Oh, and by the way, this new vaccine that I'm getting comes incorporated with a fucking microchip inside of my palm. I don't even have to use my debit card no more. Boom! I can swipe it across the fucking desk and buy my fucking Coca-Cola.
Bezos said the boomers aren't giving their children their wealth. They've been subverted into believing generational wealth is bad. Yeah, well, people feel like, why give my kid all this money? I'll just give it to charity, So,
well, a lot of boomers, I think, are also selfish. So I think a lot of the boomers are also like, fuck it, I made it, I'm going to take it. Be it fucking hookers and blow.
So,
Next question.
How much fiat currency is out there? Is it 270 trillion total, or is it certain nations, or is it 270 total?
I don't know that answer.
Yeah, because I heard it's like 270 trillion, somewhere around there, of what, money.
Just fiat, or like gold included?
Fiat,
or what?
Just fiat. It's like 270 trillion circulating in the world.
That's quite high.
Yeah, that's what I heard. But
as of when?
Crypto, I think in total, like all the countries, 270 trillion.
You know how much they're printing a day?
I know it's a lot. I know, because the debt.
So you say 270, so when's that 270 quoted? For example, I'm not picking holes, but it's like, okay, you say 270, like maybe that's like 6 months ago. Maybe it's more like 300 a day.
Wow.
You don't even understand.
Yeah.
Like
I got you.
Right, you know what I mean? So it's like, well, numbers are irrelevant, which is what's really nice about crypto, because it's fixed upon a point. Like Bitcoin, 21 million. Hex, like 650 billion as well. And with it's got an interest, built upon it of, at the moment, 40% a year. And there's all the other coins as well. But the point is, it's much more controlled than just saying, hey, you know what? I could just print as much as I fucking like because it's US dollar. Mm-hmm. I own the fucking printing press. If I decide that, okay, they need to bail in, they need to bail out, boom, there's 20 billion, boom, there you go. That's the problem. But in crypto, you don't get that, especially when it's a fixed source. Mm-hmm. What's crypto saying? What's Crypto Vince saying? What's he up to?
He's saying if you don't know, your offspring won't use it wisely. Basically saying the first generation makes the money, the second generation spends it, the third blows it.
Right. True. Completely. Yeah. It takes one generation to make it, one generation to preserve it, one generation to spunk it, is how I know it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for me, it's like when I saw that in 2017, I felt different about the whole reality of things, if that makes any sense. Like I felt different about my job, my house, everything that I was working for. And
how many million people also felt the same?
And I was like, man, all this shit for what? So now this next crash, whenever this crash occurs, I'm going to be fucked with this house. I'm not going to be able to sell it. Where am I going to put my fucking money? Like where am I going to put this energy? Like, where am I going to dump this this cash. And I'm like, I'm not going to dump it on another house. I'm not going to dump it on a car. Where can I dump it? And I was looking for the right project, you know, and luckily we found the right project. And now it's just about educating people to understand what decentralized finance is, to get people involved, you know.
So, what do you think like the next level is after you create your own self worth? After you create your
Well,
dynasty protection,
I on
you know
this
where I'm
channel,
going.
I don't, yeah, on this channel, I don't talk about what I do, but I'm a consultant with Proctor Gallagher Institute, with Bob Proctor's office. Bob Proctor's been in personal growth and development for 60 years, and he was mentored by Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale was mentored by Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill was a broke newspaper reporter, from the 1900s, and he interviewed the richest person, Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie told him that anything that the mind fears, like anything that the mind is scared of or believes that is true, will eventually reproduce itself in physical reality. And that's how people live their life. They live their life on what they can see, smell, taste, hear, and touch. But if they only realize that everything that they're looking at is not physical, if you look at a chair, there's nothing physical about it. What makes it physical is your perception and your lower faculties. But I started working with Bob Proctor, and I've been studying personal growth and development for 10 years, you know. So when you think of 1 million or 100 million, you just have to make it look small. And you do that by writing it out on a piece of paper and internalizing it. What would you do if you had 100 million? What kind of house would you have? So it's about growing. So when I talk to him, I'm like, you know, who am I? He's like, you're not Ross Garcia. You're not, you're a spirit. You have an intellect and you live in a physical body. But your spirit is for expansion or fuller expression, never for hard times, never for disintegration. So you're on this planet to experience something that you haven't experienced before. How can you do it if you're broke? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And I haven't been broke ever since. Ever since I started studying my higher faculties, my God-given abilities, I understand that I am a creator, and that basically I had the keys to be free. And the reason that I wasn't free was because I was listening to everybody around me instead of listening to that hunch, that feeling that you get, like, man, you need to do this, you need to do this. And I'm telling you, I had that feeling in 2018, 2017, when I saw this come about. And I'm like, okay, if it crash, that means that cash is going to be here forever, right? If we're not moving forward, then we're moving backward. And I'm like, no, we're not moving backwards. This is just a season. This is a season to keep sowing. The reaping will come later, but you need to believe. Like Napoleon Hill says that there's a difference between wishing for a thing and being ready to receive it. No one is ready for a thing until they believe they can acquire it. The state of mind must be belief, not mere hope or wish. So your belief system, there was a psychologist professor, the first father, basically taught psychology in the 1900s. His name was William James, and he taught at Harvard University. And he says that your belief system is based upon your evaluation of something. And frequently, if you reevaluate a situation, your beliefs about that situation will change. So you have to constantly reevaluate the situations in your life, which is a higher faculty, it's your perception. So when you use your God-given abilities, your life will change. Your higher faculties is your imagination, your will, your ability to concentrate, reasoning, intuition, memory, and perception. Your perception is a higher faculty. Change the way you see things, and the thing will change. The way you see it, and the thing will change. Situations, when you see situations, are you perceiving them as good or bad? And if it's something bad, like the coronavirus, there's something good that's going to come out of it. So there's good in the bad, right? And I knew the principle, and the principle is that I had to wait. It wasn't the right season yet. And even with Hex, it going to a penny, right? And then it going back down to half a penny. Well, there's a season to sow, there's a season to reap, but you don't do both in the same season. Right now is not the season to reap. So I understood that I was a creator, and then I started a business and I made millions of dollars. And that was in 2014 to 2017. I started the Loan Modification Clinic. That's my channel. You could find it on YouTube. And I did a video at the Loan Modification Clinic in California on Venice Beach, where I even said that there's going to be a depression, there's going to be a recession, and the Federal Reserve is going to try to print their way out of it. It's not going to work. They say that the economy crashes every 10 years. There's like a correction in the market. Well, the last correction was 2008, 2009, and we're already 2021. So if this thing is due, it's due any minute now. And not only that, but I was just watching today, my friend, he was doing a food drive where people can come get food because Christmas is coming, is getting closer, and a lot of people are hungry. Man, that video, there was like 3 blocks long of people trying to get food. So that tells me that things are not getting better. Before things get better, they're going to get a lot worse. Now, for people on our side that are involved in this project and that are involved in this cryptocurrency, in this transfer of wealth, we're okay, right? But the person that, you know, the mom, the single mom, the pregnant woman that has a hard time paying rent, or let alone, you know, paying rent, buying food and stuff like that, there's no way out of this. So, you know, yeah, they're going to keep printing money. They're going to keep printing money, but it's like you said, it's when it crashes, it's over with. It's going to implode, like you said.
It's the obliteration of the 3-tier system into the 2-tier system. So traditionally we have the poor, the middle class, and the wealthy. 3-tier system. This whole design, this whole orchestration is designed to implode the middle class, to remove it, to obliterate it. And those live in the middle class who cannot gain higher value to move into the higher echelon. If they cannot move that, they will end up in the lower. That's the design.
Yeah.
So it moves into a 2-tier system. There's only 2. The fucking poor and the rich. That's it. There ain't no one left in the middle.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
And
it makes me sad because, you know, I'm a humanitarian. I really care about people. I want to do the best for people. I want to try to show people. I want to encourage them to do things. And it's like I get upset. I get angry at certain things. And it's like I have no control over the world. You know, this thing is designed by, you know, the 13 bloodlines. This thing is designed by 33 inside of the dynasty of fucking Illuminati, motherfucker, bloodline bullshit motherfuckers. So I'm like, you know,
and here, this is like the rabbit hole right now. To talk about the Illuminati, when Bob Proctor takes pictures, he takes a picture like this, right? Kind of like, you know, like a diamond. And I asked one of our consultants, his name is Antonios, he's Romanian. I asked him, why does Bob Proctor take pictures like that? And I'm like, isn't that the Illuminati sign? And he's like, no, the thing is that what that means is whatever you think it is, it's your perception that makes it so. He's like, it's actually harmony. When you're on stage and you're taking a picture and you do this, like, you know, you kind of like you have your hands like this, you're at one with yourself. So it's like Bob Proctor would say, you're the only problem that you will ever have, and you're the only solution. So a lot of the times we're looking at the outside. you know, and I
For
actually wrote
anyone
a
who's
book.
listening, bullshit to these fucking hand signals, right? Because these people always have to put hand signals into the public. The way that they're
Yeah,
spelled, the way that their fucking philosophies work, is they always have to put it into the domain. No matter what it is, it always has to be publicized into physical perception. So everyone that does triangles to the top, triangles at the bottom, devil signs, the small, I don't know what it is, the
yeah.
pinky and then the index finger,
Now,
like
the,
devil signs, devil horns to the top, like rock and roll. Rock and roll is a symbol of the devil. So all these
yeah.
people that have thrown out these symbols is all symbology of Illuminati.
Yeah.
Enjoy your channel.
So, so when I started studying Napoleon Hill, he starts off where when he does the lecture. Now, if people don't know who Napoleon Hill is, he basically wrote the Laws of Success, and he wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich, which everyone should read it. Now, I've studied Napoleon Hill for 10 years, and the reason I studied it is because, like I said earlier, I almost died in a DUI accident. I put someone in a coma, so I owe it to him, to his family, to try to get this information out, try to help as many people as possible. So Napoleon Hill, when he would start off his lecture, he would say, "Oh, divine providence." Now, you were talking about the eye on top of the capstone, and why is the eye separated from the capstone? So, divine providence is the eye of Horus. That's what you were saying, right?
Right.
So, the eye of Horus is behind the dollar bill. Now, he would say, "Oh, divine providence, I ask not for more riches, but more wisdom with which to use the riches I was born with, and the power to control my own mind to whatever ends I desire." Now, when I was talking about Proctor, Bob Proctor says, when I became rich and I started a cleaning business, I went to Chicago, where you're from, to talk to Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale was a big radio host back in the 60s. And he told Bob Proctor, he's like, the mind is not the brain. The brain is something physical. The mind is an activity, and it's moving at a high speed of vibration. So you're having these thoughts. You have about 60,000 thoughts per day. And out of those 60,000 thoughts, it's only a few of them that have to do with what you really, really want. So hex is like an idea. It's something that came about because the energy is looking to become. The energy is working through Richard Hart. The energy is working through the developers. The energy is working through our channels to wake people up to the fact that they can literally become anything what they want. So the energy uses people like us. This is my opinion, right? But I feel like the energy uses us to help the next generation. Because if you ever read a book, it's called The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. This is like some deep stuff, like what you're talking about. The Science of Getting Rich was written like in 1920 or something like that by a guy. He was like a Christian, and he decided to write a book and say that Jesus Christ never wanted you to be poor. Jesus Christ didn't bring you here to be broke, right? So he wrote this book, The Science of Getting Rich. And in that book, he actually lays down the 7 basic principles. The first principle is the transmutation of energy. Now, Bob Proctor says energy just is. It's neither created nor destroyed. It's 100% evenly present in all places at all times. It's the cause and effect of itself. It's always been here, has no past, no future. And you're a spirit, and you also are energy. You have this energy. So you have no past, no future. You just have this mind. When you leave the body, you're taking the mind with you. Like, you have this mind, and you can do whatever you want with the mind by building a picture of abundance. The problem that people have is they build pictures of poverty, and they always question why they can't. And it's funny because I actually wrote a book where the title of the book is called I Can't Doesn't Exist. Because every time that you go up against a million or 3, 4, 5 million, you're thinking, I can't do it. You know, and for me, I went to college not because I wanted to go to college. I went to college because they told me I could become a regional vice president at JP Morgan Chase, because I work for JP Morgan. They said you can become a vice president or a regional vice president, make 200,000 if you have a degree. So I go get the degree, and then they offer me a salary for like 30,000 with no bonuses. That was in 2009. Now I went on the opposite side because there's always opposites. That's called the law of polarity. Wallace Wattles talks about it in The Science of Getting Rich. So that's actually one of the 7 laws. So the laws are the transmutation of energy, the law of vibration. The law of attraction comes from the law of vibration. And then you got the law of relativity, the law of polarity, and then the law of cause and effect. And then the last law is the law of gender. The law of gender states that there's an incubation and gestation period to every seed. Now, when you write down your goal on a goal card, it doesn't matter how unrealistic it sounds, as long as you write it, because all you need is a pen. When you write down, I'm so happy and grateful now that, let's say I made $10 million or I made $20 million. And I know that sounds like over the top, right? Because we're taught as children, we're taught to put the crayons away, like stop using the creative side of your brain, start using the logical side. Now, I got into the creative side, and I'm sticking to it because it works. Because 2020, I made millions of dollars in a down economy. How does that happen? It happened because I wrote down in a gold card that I was going to be successful in cryptocurrency. It took me 2 years, from 2018, 19, 3 years. It took me 3 years. And the same thing happened in 2017. I put on a card that I was going to make $1.75 million by January 1st, 2017. That manifested. But there's a season when it manifests. And Wallace Wattles talks about it in The Science of Getting Rich. The law of gender is the season. They know what it is for a woman having a child is like 9 months. We know what it is for potatoes, watermelon, corn, but we don't know what a spiritual seed is. Now, that's what Bob Proctor teaches, is if there's an Illuminati, right? If there is a high society, right? People at the very top
it's not
of
an
the
if,
pyramid.
there is. Don't
Okay.
There's no if.
Okay, so these people at the very top, they know the laws, right? Now, you could think, okay, well, it might not work for me. It works for you, Ross, but I choose to believe something else. But what I'm saying is, I read the book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. I read Napoleon Hill, and they all say that you become what you think about. Like, whatever you auto-suggest, like Ralph Waldo
prophecy, right? You think because what you read, it manifests itself into your reality.
Correct.
That's what you're saying.
And what I'm saying is, the Illuminati knows that. They know that, okay, well, all they got to do is impress an idea upon the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind is thinking when we're not thinking, because we only think 3% of the time. And for the people out there that don't know what the subconscious mind is, there was a doctor named Thurman Fleets in 1934 in San Antonio, Texas. They wanted to know what the mind looks like because the mind isn't the brain. So he drew out a picture of a stick person, and he said, let the top part represent the conscious mind and let the bottom part represent the subconscious mind. Now, Earl Nightingale, the guy that taught Bob Proctor, he was the biggest radio host in the 60s. He says that the subconscious mind is like the dirt. It's immoral. You can plant nightshade, a deadly poison, and not even a 16th of an inch away, you could plant corn, a sweet food. It gives you what you plant.
Wait. Could you not just say that the subconscious is telling you that, hey, you need to go make $1.7 million by fucking January, fucking 2017? And then the quote that you just said now is like, well, the flip side is, well, this motherfucker over there is saying this. Like, I'm listening to what you're saying.
Yeah.
But equally, I'm like, a lot of these motherfuckers, believe it or not, they are connected to Illuminati strains. I don't know whether you know that or not. And a lot of the quotes that they put out is self-fulfilling prophecies of how they want you to perceive reality. But it's not the fact. It is not the fucking fact. And the true reality is completely different. Like, how much of those fucking gains from reading about what those people have told you to do, all the facts that you've studied, you read, you've gone through fucking whatever you've gone through, these financial institutions, of those financial riches that you've created, how much of that have you held on to today and put it into real manifested states of wealth that I could say, okay, today that is worth $1 million, for example.
Okay. So, all right. So to answer that question, I want to first close off of what I was saying, and just what I want to tell the audience and tell you is this, right? That if you ever seen the movie Back to the Future, Marty McFly, he goes to the future and he changes something. But when he goes to the past or to the present, something changes. And that's why Emmett Brown, the doctor, always told him, don't touch anything. Don't talk to your mom. Don't talk to anybody, because whoever you talk to is going to change. So we operate on a frequency, right? And I know that, like I said, the concepts of what Bob Proctor teaches about the law of attraction it's real for me. And I truly believe that it works if you apply yourself. But what I'm saying is that the past, the present, and the future, it's already happened. So there's 3 levels. It happened, it will happen, and it's happening right now. In other words, no one could imagine that there was flying planes, but guess what? There was flying planes here all along. No one could imagine that we would live in the Jetsons and be on Zoom, because I'm 37, I'm gonna be 38 next week, right? But when I was 20, I was selling a Nokia 5160. If anyone ever seen Neo from the movie The Matrix, that pop-up phone, I was selling that phone. There was no internet on the phone, right? So, but guess what? There was internet all along. And the same internet that lets us communicate is basically the connection to the subconscious, the space. So the space is intelligent. This is what Wallace Wattles is saying. Now, how do they print money? Where are they printing money from? If it's mathematics, aren't they like adding ones to zeros? Or how does it work? They're adding to nothing, right?
Well, I would go all the way back to your internet quote. I'd be like, what the fuck? Why have suddenly Nokia in whatever the hell it is, 900s got internet? Well, if you go back to 3,500 years ago, and you still there?
I'm still here.
It's good. You go back to like the indigenous people inside of, I think it was Australia, and they're drawing with hand paints onto. Fucking the guy that was in the chat earlier, he'll be able to answer this potentially. But inside of like, I think it's Aries Rock is one of the main rocks inside of Australia, where they used hand paint. They use blow paint. They'll be literally like put your hand up against the wall and just blow pigments of color over your hands to draw onto the rock face. This was about 3,000 years ago, prior to the fucking Egyptian. Egyptian rocks. Wait, no. So these people were painting flying saucers through hand paint, spraying it onto their hand paint, which has been backdated to those periods in time, 3,500 years ago plus. And you're talking about a Nokia 96 fucking 100 not having internet today. Like a year or two ago. Yet fucking 3,500 years ago, these motherfuckers are spraying it onto a rock saying these flying saucers were flying around the sky. So
Well,
this this is proof. This is backdated,
right.
dated by paint pigment, which is as proof as the fucking data that I put on my blockchain analysis.
Hmm.
All right, you laugh all you fucking like, but the proof is in that statement. You
Right.
can't laugh it off. Fuck internet.
Right.
Fuck, the internet was about way before today, way before 100 years ago. We had internet 1,000 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Uh, uh, what's the fucking lost civilization called? Um, what's it called? Lost civilization. Chat, help me out. Go on. Who's gonna be first there? See if I can get it before you guys.
Exotic said Freemasonry is good and bad.
Uh,
It depends how you
Atlanta. Fuck it.
wield.
You lost. You fucking lost. Atlanta. Lost city of Atlanta.
Oh, Atlantis, Atlantis, or Atlantis, or Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah. Between us, we got it. Fuck chat. All right.
So,
So, right, they had internet back then. So
yeah,
don't tell me today we got some super technology. We don't. It just got fucking superimposed, and it got ruled out by let's take it back to Anunnaki.
yeah,
Full circle, right?
and
Yin yang.
and
We're right back at day one.
what you're saying about communication, that they communicate with signs. There was an author that I also read. I read his book. It's called The Hidden Power by Thomas Troward. He was like from 1900, like 1880, somewhere like that. And he went to India. He was from England. He went to India as a judge, for England, but he studied with some monks, right? He got some secrets from these monks, and he wrote books on psychology. Like he wrote the Edinburgh Lectures on mental science. He wrote the Dory Lectures. He wrote The Hidden Power. And I started reading this book because Bob Proctor recommends it. And I read the first like 2, 3 chapters, and I got totally lost because he was talking about how a circle represents spirit. Like it's just some heavy duty stuff, right?
Mm.
But one of the things that he mentions is that nothing's created and nothing's destroyed. In
Right.
other words, everything's already here. Anything you can think of is here. In other words, like Ralph Waldo Emerson said, he says the only thing that could grow is the thing you give energy to. What are you giving your energy to? So for me, it's like I up my income. So if I could attract 1.75, I'm not gonna say how much I'm, you know, how much I'm worth or how much I'm attracting, right? But if I can do that with nothing, because I asked people for loans, I asked my mom and dad, I asked friends, I asked old business partners or whatever, hey, I'm gonna start a modification business. You guys want to put 20, 30,000 so I could do marketing. No one helped me. And I went from zero to 125,000, 150,000 a month for 4 years consecutive with no help. So it is true. It's like whatever you're emotionally involved in, if you're emotionally involved in hacks and crypto, and if you have a number in mind, like let's say 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, for whatever number you have in mind, if you write it down, like I talk about having a gold card, I don't have any cash on me. I have gold cards. Like I have cards where I wrote down what I want. Now, Napoleon Hill tells you on the back of the card, always put what you're willing to give because there's never something for nothing. So I put what I'm willing to give to get what I want. But I up my goal because I'm like, well, shit, with all the money printing they're doing, you need to be worth more than a couple million. You need to be worth anywhere from 30 to 75 to not ever have to. They say you can live off of 7.5 million because that the interest on 7.5 million is like 10,000 a month. But it depends what your destination is. My destination is like being an educator, doing the research and opening up a school. Now, my cup of tea is in personal growth and development because I studied all these people, but I love talking about crypto because I used to work for banks, but after seeing what they're doing, like running a casino, I realized that I don't want to be associated with banks anymore. I want to help people to understand how banks screw people over and
Right.
get on the crypto side, because this is the side that's going to win. So yeah, so that's what I do, is just personal growth and development at Wealth Mindset Group on YouTube, Wealth Mindset Group. And then I got this channel, Crypto Lifestyle Club. And I'm going to end up getting rid of the Crypto Lifestyle Club and just focusing on Crypto Life School. So I bought the domain. We have a website development people right now that are actually building the site. And that site should be up within a week. So, you know, I'm going to have videos on there, how to open a MetaMask wallet, how to use Uniswap, how to buy Hex, who else is involved. I'm going to collaborate with people, maybe like yourself, with Ryan as special guest at the school, and we're just going to blow things up. We're going to make shit happen. That's what I'm about.
That's the only way you can grow the space, is by bringing people into it, right? And it's, how do you actually tap that audience, right? You can do all the crypto stuff you like, which is why, you know, I was quite intrigued by what Ryan was up to, because he's up to something similar, I think, that what I'm doing, but I think I'm probably doing it on a much more I'm a lot more consumed into it, because I've spent the last 3 months filming the location that I'm in, which I think is the only way to bring people in. So, you know, you can have an audience, you can set up a channel, you can do these things, but if you're not actually tapping into a brand new niche, a brand new audience, how are you going to draw those people in?
What we're doing optimization on Google with keywords like blockchain. My website comes up. Cryptocurrency, my website comes up. So I'm working with this guy that he got some really good results for one of my other business partners. He owns a hair loss company, which I actually invested in 2015. So
interesting.
He's doing really good right now with the online training. So he charges about $9.95 for online training for, it's called just say his name out there to get him some publicity, PicassoJeff.com. So basically Picasso Jeff, what he did was he started perfecting a way on how to get a head tattoo, to make the tattoo look like real hair. So kind of like the Vin Diesel look. You have to cut your hair with a razor blade. So, but it looks like you can fill in scars. Like if you have a scar, you could kind of like get the tattoo and fill it in so it could look like you have hair. Cancer patients, women that had cancer that lost their hair, they go see him. He does the procedure. And the crew that he got to do the website is the same crew that I'm getting, because everything is online. So he doesn't have to do anything. So I do the education online and I post it on the website, and then people just come in, they pay the school, and then they get all the tutorials, all the videos, everything. And it's just a better way to bring people into projects like Hex, MetaMask, Ethereum, stuff like that.
I don't see that as a huge inflow of audience, from my personal opinion.
Yeah. You know, just last week I brought in.
No, I'm like, okay, you need to look at it. It's like not. I mean, hairline. All right, I'm in a place where hairline is kind of quite a big deal. I have a receding hairline, but do I give a shit about it? I fucking don't. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
If I end up bald, I'll just shave the motherfucker off. I don't care. Like Richard says, as long as you're rich, you got a big dick. What the fuck does it matter, right?
Yeah.
So like that's the important aspects of life. Big dick, you're rich. None of the rest of the shit matters. Yeah, it helps if you're athletic looking and you know you're attractive, but generally like you can get by with life with just money and other things. So I don't think small audiences with like hairlines are such a big audience, but take that with a pinch of salt, because at the end of the day, like I respect your attack avenue. It's one audience that you can use to onboard, But how much of that audience give a fuck about Hex? Because those ones who are looking at hair
Well,
issues, they're looking at hair issues. They're not looking at how to fucking make money, right?
right.
But other people who might be inside of an avenue of, all right, we're looking for entertainment, and you just truth bomb them with a couple of things. You hook them, you dangle a couple of carrots, say, hey, you want to make some money? Hey, this is an area where you can make some money and you can get 40% a year.
Well,
they're like, whoa, what the fuck? And all of a sudden they're like, well, tell me more. That's all you got to do is drop a couple of fucking.
It's like this. When you are in Spain, you wake up when you want. You go to the beach when you want. You know, right now I have a sweater. But like usually you don't need a sweater out here in Spain. I'm in Marbella. Like there's so many people from Sweden, Finland, UK. There's people from Russia, Ukrainians. This area is, I mean, this area is popping, you know, and like when they see you out there and they're out working 9 to 5, they want to put $200-300 into this, into Hex, into Ethereum, you know. And I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, you know, it's kind of like I'm giving the education and I'm telling you what will work for me. This is not financial advice, right? But what I'm saying is people are gonna go. They're gonna put their money in and they're gonna stake. They're gonna stake 555. They're gonna stake, you know, like I had people in the UK last week. 5 people called me because the word got out and they're like, hey, can you help me set up my MetaMask? I got tired of helping people setting up the MetaMask wallet. It's so easy, but people don't know what they're doing. I remember when I started, I had to call Ryan. I was in California. I lived in Hollywood, California. I had to call Ryan. And the same thing, that's why I started the school, because it's not some, I do the videos. Yesterday, I did a video on how to set up your Monolith card for people in the UK and in Europe. And it only takes me 10 minutes, but I have all the videos on the website. So I really think that my website is going to blow up. Like, I really think it's going to be something positive, not only for Hex, but for me and for anyone that's involved in my circle, you know? So yeah, so it's a good thing, you know, because it worked for me. And like I said, like Richard Hart said yesterday that at any point Hex could go to $1 if somebody puts in like $45 million worth of Ethereum. You know,
a little bit unlikely, right? Just off the bat,
yeah,
it's a little bit unlikely. Just have that caveat.
But anyone that has a brain that thinks like, okay, well, I have a job. Let me just put in a couple thousand into this. Yeah. What are you going to do with a couple thousand? People spend a couple thousand at the casino. Right now, the casinos are not open because of this virus, but there's going to be a crash. And I'm telling you, like, it's like you said, when the system implodes, it's over with.
If we don't, it could be like next year. It could be like 20 years time. That's the problem. There's no timeline to it. So in the meantime, you just have to presume that everything continues the way it is, right? Trend is your friend, and what is the actual market doing? It's always just as it is. Nothing has actually changed. The only thing that changed was increasing more stimulus into the market, and with the more stimulus, it just carried on going. So that's all I can really say about it. It just keep pumping it.
There's 50 million people without a job.
I don't know the figures, and that's only their data. You trust their data, like times it by 3, 4. So
yeah, who knows?
Right?
We'll see, man.
Like 200 million. What's the population? Like 7 billion. It's like, it's just an insane percentage. I mean, I don't even believe their figures, right? I don't even believe their fucking COVID figures. I don't believe their fucking unemployment figures. I don't believe any of their figures. Wherever they are, they're exponentially worse than what they are. That's it.
Yeah.
And we got no questions. There's no questions inside this chat. Jesus. What's going on here?
Yeah, we have to educate those that are overwhelmed by crypto. That's fascinating. Hexagon 720. Some folks have natural and deeper intuition than others, just like Tesla. Yeah, so we have about 18 people that are tuning in right now on the channel. So if anyone has questions for Silver the Antidote or for me, just ask us, because we're
I need
here.
a question. I need a super hard question. I'm ready for a super hard question. I
And you have a
challenge you.
newsletter too, right? You charge for a newsletter? Like you have like a newsletter on your site?
No, I don't do a newsletter. I do a private group. If people want
Okay.
to come in there, yeah. It's
Are you good in math? You understand math?
no, not really. I know up and to the right. That's kind of all I need to know, right?
Yeah, yeah. So you do you
I know.
understand how
I
to
know.
read charts and everything?
Yeah, I know. I know a little bit. Like, I don't want to. Like this Brennan, right? Brennan is a guy who's super good at the maths and charts. So I sometimes check his stuff out. There's who's the other guy? Oh, I'm gonna have to get some help on this one. Oh my god, can't think of him. There's another guy who's super good. I can't think of his name at the moment, but everybody knows who he is. What everyone wants to know about t-shirts, this sort of thing, he's the guy.
Wow.
He's inside Telegram all the time.
Hexotic said, how much do you guys know about the occult?
like what? Yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. Roll with it. Roll with it. Throw me more questions. I need more data. I need
hey, the force is strong with you, Anakin.
Keep going in there.
Like,
well, if you watch my videos, as soon as I chuck out the 33, 33, I start getting like spidey senses down the back of my spine. All right. I'm like, hey, I know these guys, motherfuckers. These motherfuckers are playing with me. I know.
Yeah. So what I kind of feel like, sometimes I feel like the Federal Reserve is part of this whole cult, right? And the whole point of keeping people here, because I went to Italy, I went to San Marcos, one of the churches like from 500 years ago. Leonardo da Vinci actually did a piece on the wall.
Fucking lovely.
And Mozart was actually on the piano back in the days. Mozart actually played there to some of the audience. So I was thinking to myself, because they actually gave me a chance to go to the back. There was a priest there from South America, and since I speak Spanish, I was talking to him. I'm like, hey, could you let me into the back, please? And he's like, you know what? I'll give you a chance, but we never let anyone back there. He's like, no one goes back there if they're not part of the church. And I'm like, can you just let me back there? And I told him in Spanish. He's like, yeah, sure, why not? So there is like this big thing, right? That I don't know if you call it, what is it called? It's where they put the oyster, the one that you put in your mouth, when for you to be forgiven for your sins, on Sunday.
I don't know the oyster. I know the body of Christ. That's the only one I know.
Yeah. It's kind of like this, like bread or something like that, but it dissolves in your mouth when you put it in your mouth. So anyway, inside of there, on the back, right? Because I walked into where the ropes are. I went through the VIP or whatever the hell. I go to the back, right?
I was in the VIP area, man. Fucking Dre was back there. Snoop, he was doing his thing. Yeah.
And they have this big ass painting, right? And they have a cross, the cross of St. James. So they have that cross there on the wall. They got these Spanish caballeros. That's what they're called, the caballeros, on horses with that cross of St. James. It all means something. It's all symbolism. So to talk about the occult, there's circles. Like you got the Bilderberg group, You got the you know the Council of 33. You got the Skull and Bones. You got the Masons, the Illuminatis, the Roman Catholic Church. All these, the Jesuit order. So the Jesuits were from Spain. Loyola Lopez was the one that formed the Jesuits over like 600 years ago.
What,
Now,
Ryan Lopez? He formed the Jesuits 600 years ago.
I'm not sure if he's associated, right? But what I'm saying is that when I went to the back of that church, I saw the Illuminati sign, the eye on the
eye horse.
on,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. It was actually like cast iron that looks like gold. So it's like this big temple that's inside of the church. If you go all the way to the back, there's like a big temple, and not in front where everybody's praying, but on the back side where no one goes. On the back side, there's a big ass eye, man. I'm talking about a big ass eye. Big ass eye with the lines with the lines like this, like the lines of the sun, right? Big ass eye. And then you got these really important paintings that are like huge on the wall, and then you got where all the Vatican people sit. They're all sitting there. And then on top, they have different crests, different crests. And each crest represents, I don't know, some region or some freaking, I don't know, but shit was crazy, right?
Yeah.
I actually recorded on my Snapchat. I recorded it just to keep a copy of it. And I'm like, check it out. I'm in this private area, and I look at I'm like, this is an eye. And then I'm like, this is where Mozart played 200-300 years ago. He was playing the piano right here. And I just knew that the church knows secrets about what's out here. Kind of like a hidden world within our world. Mm-hmm. Kind of like something where you would never
experience.
Children other grave of the grave said the communion wafer. You need to play that Snapchat on stream, man. I'm telling you, this freaking eye, it's like a temple. It's like a temple inside of the church, and you got a big ass eye, man, like the same eye that's behind the dollar bill. So you start to think like, who are these people that control the world? Like, who controls this shit? Because like Rothschilds, like the Rothschild family, they're known for being bankers, right? And they're like, give me, I don't care who writes the laws, as long as I own the printing press, I care not who writes the laws, right?
Right.
So it's like whoever controls that money controls the world.
Exactly. I care not who makes the rules as long as I control the money. That sort of thing. Yeah, man. It's another level. I mean, that sounds pretty sick, like where you went into.
I'm telling you, and I didn't go to Rome. This was in Milan. I went to Switzerland.
Still close. No, it's close, man. It's close. Still Italy, isn't it? Which is close to the Vatican. A lot of shit stems back to that location.
And man, Milan is all bricked out. Like London's the same way. There is no grass in London. You don't cut your grass in London. People don't have grass in London. Like it's all cement, floor, walls, everything, brick per brick. And these bricks are like 1,000 years old. Like Milan is old. I really like Milan.
I almost did an EU tour before I went to where I was now. I'm like, hey, because the UK, we're kind of like, I don't know how serious it is, but we're supposed to be going through this thing called Brexit. It seems to have been going on forever, and I don't think it's going to actually happen. It seems a complete piss take in English, but we're supposed to be breaking free of the EU.
Yeah,
but I don't see it happening. It's just dragging on and on and on. It's like kicking the can down a fucking road for years and
Mhm.
years and years. Like I voted on it. I don't know when, like 2000 and maybe 16. I was still in the UK. I'm like, okay, I'm voting. I want the UK to leave the EU. I voted it, and like here I am, 2020. The fucker still isn't confirmed. It's like, how incompetent are you, motherfuckers? Like, there was a deal, right? We all agree that we need to leave. Yeah, we leave. Oh, 4, 5 years, 5, 6 years later. No, we still haven't left. No, okay, fine. Well, that tells you all you need to know about politics, right? It's completely corrupt. Anyway, I was in the mindset of, well, maybe I should do a UK tour from the UK, going into Europe, go France, Spain, like do all the fucking regions before
Mhm.
my British passport doesn't allow me in without a visa. So I was thinking maybe now's a good time to go through Europe and just do it
Mhm.
and make my video vlog, and have some footage to show to the world later on. But yeah, anyway, I changed my plan and I didn't do that because I figured that was a little bit too high risk based upon COVID. So yeah, I changed my plan on that one.
Yeah.
But
Well. Hexatic said, I find the hex symbol to be a cult. It does have 666 in it. Saturn also has a hexagon storm on top of it. Another thing to add is that Satanists worship Saturn.
well, I don't want to say too much about Satan, but we know we had a member inside of the community at some point who kind of was affiliated to having that inside of his Twitter account, inside of his personal space, and I'll leave it as that.
Yeah. Hexagon 720 said, price predictions are fun. No expectations.
30,
Oh, man.
$33.
Hey, but the funny part about it is, while 2020 was fucking retarded, we made thousands of percents of returns in a down economy.
Depends when you get in, though, right? It completely
Well, yeah,
depends
I mean,
on when your time frame was.
yeah. Well,
So
hopefully, if everything works out the way it's working out, the people that got in at a penny, that staked long, right, get those T-shirts, so they'll be okay, right? Because some people are like, oh, it dropped to half a penny, I lost money.
dropped
But
to half, but you made at least 32%, 33%, 30, 38, 40, depending how long you staked it. If you staked it 10 years, you made 100%. So you kind of, it's an even sum game. But as it starts to rebound into 0.08, into 1 cent, into the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe even 6 months. Who knows? Like what's the price going to be? Like, I'll ask you guys. What's the price going to be in 6 months? My price target that I'm looking at is actually, I don't actually watch price no more until it gets past March. March is my minimum time when I start to look at price. From March onwards, that's when the fucking game starts for me.
yeah, I got 5 million. I got 4.88 million loose right now, just to buy whatever. But the 4.8 million are I could swap it back to Ethereum or United States dollar coin and then come in and try to play it, but I'm just worried that the price could go from 0.005
I think the play move has kind of like come and gone. Like, if you're gonna play it, you want to play it for big payday, right? That's the biggest opportune time to occur, and it's gone. So now we're starting to ratchet out, and guess what? We've already 1x'd out of the low, right? It was like 0.03. It's now 0.06. It's doubled since the low. So if it pulls back a little bit now, so what? We've got still an element of liquidity coming into the market during the next 3 months. But after 3 months, well, guess what? We've had a lot of downward pressure during this period. What happened? Not much. It went down
Yeah.
from 0.08 to 0.03. We've now rebounded, double from where that point was. The added pressure of what's going to hit now, 0.04. We're going to double out of that again. We're back to where we were big payday.
Yeah.
So that's basically this inflation period done.
I don't think we're going back to 0.003 or 0.004. I think we're gonna stay at 0.005.
Well, it depends how much fucking sell. You have to understand there's like a few billion coming out in between now and March. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody decides like, hey, I'm just gonna fucking sell, they will push that way back down. Bearing in mind, these people bought a fucking, Satoshis. So, even at these prices, a lot of people are still making significant gains. All right.
Yeah.
But longer term, that don't matter because the sooner they sell, the better for everybody for the long term.
Yeah, because even like Bitcoin's going up, right? And I feel like it's gonna keep going up. I feel like Ethereum's gonna go to $1,000, 1,000, and
still cheap. Even at $1,000, it's still cheap, right? You still think that?
Yeah. So even if it loses steam, if Ethereum or Bitcoin lose steam, Hex is gonna still go up because the money is gonna go into Hex, and then they're gonna lock it up. So I feel like I don't think we're gonna go. Do you know what the price is right now? Because I don't think we're gonna go lower than 0.005.
Yeah, around that. Yeah. Well, we're getting momentum. I do know, like one of the guys that I did highlight, and I was watching. He had something like 200, I think 230 million. I think as of late, he's dropped down to maybe 160 million, and in the last few days, he just hasn't done anything. He's just basically held it, which is meaning he's happy with his cash out position, but he's still holding liquid, so he's not earning any of the interest. He's just holding liquid, but the price is still appreciating, and it's a bit odd because the price is appreciating and he's dollar cost averaging out, like he was just dollar cost averaging in. You would assume that no matter what the price is, he's going to trickle out every single day, but as of the last few days, he hasn't, and that has.
He's probably like the price going to go up. That's probably why, right?
Yeah, well, the price has already doubled from the first time he was selling. And now all of a sudden he's like, whoa, I'm going to stop selling because the price is now double when I started selling. Like I'm now feeling a bit scared, like, oh, I'm losing fucking return. I don't think so. I think it's a different philosophy. I think he wants to recoup his initial investment, which is why he's like, okay, I'll sell 40, 50 odd million, and the rest of it I'll just sit there. But yet he doesn't stake it, which is completely weird, right? Because who in their right mind wouldn't stake 150 million for, say, 7 days? If you had 150 million liquid, would you leave it there, or would you stake it for 7 days?
I would stake it. But then if I staked it, I would be worried that the price would go up and I'm locked in.
But instead, he's not staking it. He hasn't sold anything for a few days, and it's just sitting there. So try to figure that out.
Maybe he's waiting for the price to spike.
And that's $1 million. That's $1 million worth of Hex at today's value.
Wow.
$1 million, and he's earning nothing on it. He's being inflated out of the market due to the increase in inflation because he wants to just chance it. But he was selling down at fucking 0.035.
Yeah.
But he won't sell at today's price.
Yeah.
I can't figure people like that out. I don't try to figure it. I just watch it. I just,
Yeah.
mark it down.
I don't know if I feel like maybe getting 10,000 out of that. I think I'm at like 28,000, maybe 27,000. But you know, I think yesterday or the day before I was like 29,500, and it's like I'm like, man, I just lost 2 grand, or I like just hold it, because last week I was at 18,000. Now I'm at 28,000. So it's like the longer I hold it, the more money. So it's like, well, what do I need all this money for? I don't really need it for anything. If I need to pay a bill here and there, then
Let me say something funny, right? So when I first looked at it, he had something like 220 million of hex, and at that point, it was worth about $750,000 at that point. So he then continued to sell it. At that point, he sold about 80 million, 70 to 80 million worth, and he converted it from hex into USDC or USDT. I forget which one, but into dollar value. And he depreciated his hex holding. But his holding changed from $750,000. Today it's worth $1 million. But he cashed out at the same time as the price appreciated. You understand?
yeah.
So he made a lot of USDC or USDT in between, maybe $100,000 worth, and the price appreciated to $100,000 more than what it was at the time that he was selling. But now he has stopped selling, and he still holds like 160 million worth of hex, liquid, not staked, liquid. But he stopped selling the last four days because the price went up. So he was happy to sell it down at a lower range, but he's not happy to sell it at this range. But he's not happy to take it at this range. He's happy just to hold it. Figure that shit out. And that's what I'm trying to look at. And that's what I'm trying to think. What the fuck is this guy thinking? Like, he don't stake it. He sells it at bottom, but he doesn't sell it when it gets a bit higher, like doubled. But he doesn't stake it either. But he took the money. I'm just like, I'm mind fucked. I'm like, I don't get this guy. I can't fix it. But he's got 160 million left, and he hasn't sold anymore. So that's it really.
Hexagon 720. What's the biggest money maker in the world? War. The same people you're talking about that can control the money have funded both sides of every major war for centuries. It's a deep rabbit hole. Yeah, I was gonna say that too. The World War II was funded by the same people.
Yeah. If you back both sides, you can't lose.
Share price, coin, price 612, 18 months from now. Share price, coin, price. Share price, coin, price.
Easy answer. Up and to the right.
Up and to the right, huh? Well, you know, right now is a buying opportunity. If we were at a penny,
every day
we're gonna go back to a penny.
Every day is a buying opportunity. What are you talking about? No financial advice.
Not financial advice, guys. So hey, well, it's good talking to you, and maybe tomorrow or Sunday or Monday we'll jump on another call. Message me or I'll message you. You know.
So, any super questions remaining?
That's it. New comments. Yeah. They always back both sides.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well,
to make sure you win a war, just make sure you back both sides. It's age old.
I'll let you guys go. We'll be back soon, and thanks, Silver, for talking. And
catch you next time.
For sure. And we'll be back, guys. Have a good weekend. Have a good night. And Silver, I'll message you on Twitter, and we'll get together again. All right. Take care. Have a good night over there.
All right. Take care, everyone. Good night. Bye.